Thrones ended, it has only been 3 years. From the frosty rust and get back on the iron throne. Like Lannister, dutiful Game of Thrones. Rob and Josh are dutiful.
Yeah, that's right. The Duty Dudes are back to talk about House of the Dragon Season 2, Episode 3, as well as finally an actual episode of Survivor. Survivor 46, Episode 1, which I've now seen here on the House of the Mermaid Dragon. I'm Josh Wigler. That guy on the dragon who is riding me out of the tavern I was trying to get into. That's Rob Cesternino. Hi, Rob.
What in the several hells?
HIGH. You're really high up there in the clouds right now.
Yes. Ready to go.
Yep.
Get into it like the Brackens and the Blackwoods.
Yeah. Are you team? Okay. So the big question of the season has been Team Black versus Team Green, Team Blackwood versus Team Bracken. And is it a missed opportunity to not have the Brackens be like named Green Bracken?
Green
Doesn't
Bracken.
really roll off the tongue.
Yeah. The Frackens.
The Brackens, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, hard to pick a side.
Yeah. You didn't feel like strongly, like that one of those, because you often have an opinion on a fictional child. I do feel like.
Yeah, no, what was that we came in.
You love to hate a fictional kid.
I do. That is one of my great joys in life, to hate fictional children on television. But yeah, this one, I couldn't even get a good hate into them, and then they were all dead.
Yeah,
so quickly.
Real quick.
The poor windmill.
The book reading public was very sad about the one whose name is apparently Davos Blackwood. Did you know about Davos Blackwood?
There's only one Davos that I know about.
That's how I kind of feel. But it's Game of Thrones. I guess like multiple people being named Davos in the world of Game of Thrones is like how many people are named David IRL. So David, pretty common name. I guess Davos would be pretty common in Westeros.
Yeah.
How would you spell David in Westeros?
Oh, David, DAY VYD.
Second D at the end?
Yeah, you could if you're fancy. Yeah,
it depends on if you got some extra sauce for it. People were sad about Davos Blackwood because everyone, or like the book reading masses, thought that guy might be. I believe his name is Bloody Ben Blackwood, who is a mad lad. There's literally, he is one of the lads. There's a group of characters in Fire and Blood, the book this is based on, called The Lads. And they are a bunch of young lads who like rip shit up in the War of the Dragons.
That's the thing about the young lads. They get wild.
Yeah,
They've got takes that are out there. They're coming in hot. It's like, oh my God, this young lad is wild.
Yeah. So for those who have never listened to an episode of House of the Mermaid Dragon, this is the podcast each week where Rob and I talk about the week's episode of House of the Dragon, and then I am finally watching a season of Survivor for the first time in like 4 years, and it's Survivor 46, and I'm really excited for the back portion of the podcast where we talk about that stuff because we also have a mad lad to discuss this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you spell Jelinski in Westeros?
Exactly the same. I think perfectly the same.
I think it pretty much is exactly the same. So, of course, we're live right now. If you want to check us out on video after the fact, we'll be up in the We Know Scripted TV.
I'm so appreciative of the chat also that's here.
We love a chat. We got it from Kelly, who says, so happy to be catching this live. Those lads, especially those Westeros lads. You and I, are we rocking dad bod or lad bod these days?
Boy, I've never heard about lad bod. I feel like that's the kind of stuff that gets you in trouble when you talk too much about lad bod.
Yeah. Is Aemond Targaryen buck nakes in this episode? Dad bod, lad bod?
Why is this guy naked so much? Is he a nudist? What is going on with Aemond Targaryen? Full frontal? Hello? What is happening?
You got the bell handy? Ding it twice because we got two dongs in this episode.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the Aemond Targaryen. This is too much.
Yeah. This whole scene was a lot, actually. We're just starting here in the brothel, obviously, because that's what we have to do here. Rob, did you like this episode, or did you think that it sucked?
Oh yeah. Well, I
I really liked most of the episode, but there was one scene specifically where I thought this blows.
For sure. Yeah, I like the Aemond giving the tour of the brothel of what's going on here.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the thing about the brothel, like nobody's like privacy, hello.
Yeah. Do you think
somebody's in here?
They've got curtains. They need to invest in doors. How do you lock a curtain? Velcro hasn't been invented yet, and even then, Velcro isn't like a super sturdy lock, I don't think.
Yeah, I think that's the thing about from what I remember from Game of Thrones. I think there's people participating, but then there's also like a lot of like looky-loos. So I guess that there's not a lot of privacy there.
Yeah.
But then, so there was that one guy, and was that a cameo? Did they have like they have like famous stunt casting.
Yeah.
Was that Haktua? Did she make it onto House of the Dragon?
Yeah, Dracarys on that thing. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, whether that was Haktua girl or not, Hot D really put the Hot D in Hot D this week. It was a lot. I think House of the Dragon season 2 episode 3 Game of Thrones harder than it has ever Game of Thrones is maybe my take. The sensational nudity conversations of Game of Thrones discourse. Hot D this week was like, hold my beer. We're going straight into the brothel and like serving up actual porn on this week's episode of the show. It's like true porn.
I guess that like maybe not in sort of like, I feel like there's probably other things from the original Game of Thrones, but I feel like that maybe in terms of like the actual acts that we're seeing on the show.
Yeah. That wasn't an axe, man. That was something else.
Yeah. So that's pretty good. Okay. And then, but this Aemond Targaryen, what is the story?
The other possibility, and I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on this, Aemond Targaryen, time traveler? Because famously, Rob, when you are hurtled back in time to prevent the future robot apocalypse, you are hurtled back in time butt naked. Like, that's how Schwarzenegger shows up, right? Like, he's completely nude. He's sort of in that fetal position.
Yeah.
Aemond Targaryen, possible Terminator.
I think Demolition Man, too.
Demolition Man, they thought him out. Heads up.
Yeah. I mean, if he was in freezing cold ice, that would also explain things. Also,
yeah, he seemed a little embarrassed, and then he was like, "Whatever, I don't even care. Have her. I'll get my jollies somewhere else."
Yeah,
I think that's the direct quote.
I'm just struggling.
I'll get my jollies elsewhere.
What is this? What is this story?
Yeah. Okay. So it's a tale of two brothers. There's brother Aegon and brother Aemond. One is a king. He wears a crown. One is not. He wears a bejeweled eye. A bejeweled eyeball.
Eye.
Yeah.
Is it if you have just one jewel, is it a bejeweled eye?
I think it's a bejeweled eye. He got like
one of a bejeweled face.
He's a bejeweled face. The man with the bejeweled face. And one of them seems to be a little in over his head and is like surrounded by nincompoops. He's got like his new bodyguards don't seem like they're exactly it. And I think
he has, as we used to see on HBS Sunday Night, an entourage.
He's got an entourage. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Uh-huh. Do you think that the entourage, like a scared turtle, says Kelly? Yeah.
That was from a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah, like a scared turtle. But that guy was also often on Sunday nights on Entourage. Vinny, I'm so scared. I don't know. That was my bad turtle impression. Yeah. Yeah. Who would be of the entourage the best in Westeros, and why is it anyone other than Johnny Drama?
Johnny Drama. I mean, it's the experience from the Viking quest.
Victory!
Victory. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what he says after the Battle of the Burning Mill. It's the last one standing. So these two brothers, they don't like each other all that much, clearly. And I think one of them is not very good at this, and the other guy thinks he would be better at this, but he is also he is a younger lad. He's the younger lad, and the older lad gets the throne. And so I think that there's like a little bit of rivalry here. Just a little bit of a rivalry that's happening between these two guys.
Yeah. I'm not a big Aemond guy.
Really?
Yeah.
But does Aemond is like exactly what you want out of House of the Dragon. He's like, let's give him something to talk about. How about my diamond eyeball? You know, he's such a strange cat. He's such a weird dude. A mad lad.
Can you
Do you want me to do it again? Do you want me to take it back?
Why just give me take me into your
how that happened? Well, something to talk about is really something to talk about is never really far from my mind, I guess. In fact, it's kind of surprising that I don't bust that out on most podcasts.
I feel like he's become so stoic, Aemond. Like, I feel like I'm more of an Aegon guy.
Yeah.
I like that he's like just so emotional.
Yeah. So you're not ready to really. Well, I guess before I forget, I do like to ask Team Green or Team Black every week. Where are you trending right now? So just a very quick update. Do you have one, or do you want to talk it through more before you decide?
No, I don't know what Team Black is offering.
Okay,
so
still Team Green.
Yeah, I guess
3 weeks Team Green. So then, so that's easier. So then within,
I mean,
Team
if I
Green,
didn't know better, I'd say, Aemond, where's the stick up your butt? But clearly no stick
that you can see.
That we can see. no visible stick.
Like, we don't know. You never know. But I don't think that you're gonna like Aegon as much if he doesn't have something to talk about. How about Aemond? Yeah, like I think he doesn't like him, and I think that's the stick up King Aegon's butt, at least one of them. And so he, you wouldn't like King Aegon as much if he didn't have an Aemond to complain about.
Mm-hmm. Is he complaining about it, or is he just sort of like dunking on his brother?
Yeah, dunking egging on his brother. I don't know. But tell you what, I could tell you one person who did not like that scene, and that was Aemond Targaryen. Aemond Targaryen got like chased out of his favorite room.
Mm-hmm.
He had to do like a very cold walk of shame. Can't imagine that he's gonna love that. But I don't think like you do that to that guy and he's just like, nah, it's fine. The next day, this guy got his eye stabbed out when he was what, 7, 8 years old, something like this, and then
he held a grudge.
And then like 10 years later, he's like, I'm going to take the biggest dragon that's ever been conceived and eat that little bastard. And that's what we're gonna do. So I don't know that King Aegon did a great move this week. That wasn't good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, that'll be something. To talk about.
Yeah. This is a live comment from Spencer. Is this from Spencer? Spencer says, well, I hope Aemon's stylist this season gets something to do in the back half of the season.
To dress him. Yes.
Yeah. So hopefully he gets some clothes coming up here. Kelly says Aemond has seen some things with his one eye. Which one?
Yes.
Which one are we talking about? Okay, so that's really like the big stuff that's going on. Oh, well, another big thing that happens with Aegon this week is his Hand of the King. His Hand of the King is already on the road. Sir Criston Cole is taking the show on the road. We're going conquering. It's conquering season. So Criston Cole, he's leading the battlements out into the wilds of Westeros, and Aegon's like, sweet, I'll come with, and everyone's like, no way, you're the king, you don't do that, you stay here, you do desk stuff, you write things, you sign checks, you don't fly into battle. And Aegon doesn't really like that, and he hears he's about to do it anyway, and then he hears from Larys Strong.
Yeah,
rolls up and says, "So, just a quick update on the street goss. There's people out there who are thinking like, you really don't got this.
Yeah.
And Aegon appreciates it. He
love
says,
that. I love that.
Yeah. He's like, yeah. Oh, wow. You like, I don't love that people were talking about me behind my back, but I'm psyched that you're telling me about this.
Yeah.
I think we're watching a little fingering happen live, Rob.
But I thought that was earlier. But so yeah, Larys Strong is getting promoted to the Master of Whispers.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. I wish I had a Master of Whispers.
Okay. What would your Master of Whispers
that'd be so
do?
great.
Yeah.
Be like, okay, Rob, the people are saying this about you, and like it's really what you should do. I'm like, oh my God, thank you.
Yeah.
I would appreciate that so much.
Yeah.
To get I thought that good, you had reliable information from somebody that, but I guess you can't really trust what Larys is saying. That's the problem with the Master of Whispers.
That's true. I think like any Master of Whispers worth their salt probably has a hidden agenda.
And so, Rob, everybody is loving the podcast, that they are so happy. I'm like, oh, wow, that's great.
There's just one other thing. They are not loving the podcast, and they're really unhappy. It's like, like there's some sort of like, you got to double speak it a little bit. I'm sure if you put out the call for a Master of Whispers, you'd have 1,000 applications by the end of the call. Yeah. Right. Don't you think?
Would love that.
Be pretty good. Master of Whispers for RHAP would be great. So it,
and if people know anything, like, please tell me.
Yeah, just let Rob know. He would love to know. He would love to know what's going on. I think the House of the Dragon hasn't been wanting for political intrigue. I think there's other complaints that you can make about the show, but this isn't one of them. And still, okay, you said Master of Whispers.
Do love some palace intrigue.
Yeah. So I thought that the Larys stuff this week is
in practice, I think I love it on scripted television.
Yeah, scripted TV. That's why we brought scripted TV back to RHAP. Yes. We prefer the palace intrigue to be fictional, if possible. When possible, please keep that fictional. I think that Larys being called Master Whispers is like a sort of overlooked part of this episode, but I thought that might be something that you're like, oh yeah, I like it. Master of Whispers.
I like it. Yeah.
Who was Vinny Chase's Master of Whispers? Was that E? E's Hand of the King.
E was Hand of the King.
I don't know if that he had one.
Yeah, I think that sometimes maybe there would be he'd have his publicist who would also be telling him a little bit about what was going on. She was
Debbie Mazar?
Yeah.
Debbie Mazar, Master of Whispers. You're gonna hear everything. Nothing's gonna be quiet. I don't know. What was Ari's job? If not Master of Whispers?
In the Seven Kingdoms? I mean, was he like the master of war?
Coin? Yeah. Master of coin, maybe?
Master of ships?
Out there trying to make it? Yeah, I don't know. Wartime master. Okay, and so then on top of all of that, we have Kristen Cole on the road. Kristen Cole is taking his show out of King's Landing, Rob. New haircut in tow.
Yeah.
New haircut, who dis?
So I kind of liked it. This was a little bit of a throwback to me of like, okay, let's get some unlikely characters on the road together. Enter brother, sister. Allison's brother. Check notes. That's Gwayne.
Gwayne's world, party time, excellent.
Party on, Gwayne.
Party on, Gwarth.
Yeah. Gwayne the Rock Johnson is here.
Yeah, Gwayne. And how do you think we spell Gwayne?
I think it's a Gwayne with a G, I think.
Yeah, if it's not just Gwayne with a G, what are we doing here? Great question from Samantha in the chat right now. What about that weird new hand necklace?
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
We talk about Kristen Cole's haircut because he got a haircut to go out to war, but we didn't really talk about the fact that he's like How much Street Fight? We talked about this. You were more Mortal Kombat than Street Fighter.
Yeah.
So you don't know who Akuma is?
No.
It's the first time I'm saying Akuma on a podcast for sure. But he's got like a huge necklace. If you looked up Akuma from Street Fighter, and like Kristen Cole's got like the Akuma necklace right now. All of a sudden, it's like he got like the Westeros Knight equivalent of the Hawaiian lei that he's like riding out into battle with, and I don't quite understand why either. I think that's just like an art department choice. Like,
I'm trying to find a picture of it.
Yeah. So Gwayne shows up here, and what were your thoughts on Gwayne?
I liked him. I liked him.
You're a Gwayne
liked
guy.
That he was a little bit of like a little bit of a upper crust, like a little bit of like a Niles Crane energy.
Sleeping on the forest floor, you dunce.
Yeah. So I kind of like them. A little bit of odd couple of Gwayne and Kristen Cole. This was fun.
Yeah. The great Jess Sterling in the back of the podcast is providing us with this art from the episode. That's Kristen Cole's necklace. If you can see it.
Yeah.
He has like this new sort of
bling.
He's blinging out. He's blinged out. He's got like this sort of.
Is this the new haircut also?
No. This is pre-haircut. His haircut still here is luscious. He's still in his luscious hair days. So he's not quite there yet. But yeah, that's Kristen Cole. Kristen Cole looking fire. I don't think so. I don't know. Gwayne wants to sleep in the taverns. He's going towards the taverns. Kristen Cole does not like Gwayne. Kristen Cole, if he's trying to get into the family, by the way, I don't know that he's doing such a great job. He got into it with Otto Hightower. He took his job. He took your job, Otto. And now here comes Gwayne, who he's riding with, and he's just like yelling at Gwayne. So Sir Kristen Cole is trying to be Sir Kristen Cole Hightower. I feel like it's not. Those family dinners will be awkward. In the future.
He did get Alicent's hanky.
Yeah. Having previously gotten Alicent's hanky-panky.
Yep. And so he's going to keep that. And so that's something.
It's something. So he's going to be like, Gwayne, you idiot. You don't sleep in bars. We're warriors. We're soldiers. We don't sleep in bars. And Gwayne says, I'm like basically a prince and I'm going to sleep in a bar. And then Kristen Cole is just like sitting there, cold Westeros day breeze on his face, looks up to a clear sky and says, we're exposed. And
like Aemond's like, me too.
Lots of people exposed in this episode. And they almost get eaten by Bela on Dragonback. And they manage to escape it, and they don't even do the zigzag that we're always trying to see. Also, here's Kristen Cole's haircut for the video version. He now looks like that.
Yeah. He got his hair cut short.
It's interesting because it's almost like he got helmet hair before putting the helmet on. It's like he almost like got his hair cut to like cut helmet hair off at the pass. Because like if this was his hair and he was wearing the helmet all the time, maybe it would just like get too like hot in there, too sweaty. And now he's got this haircut. And like that's what it looks like. I feel like when you put your helmet on and you take it off, and like that's just his hair now. So I don't know. Always wig watching. I think that Fabian Frankel actually did it. This doesn't look like a wig to me, which is you can at least say that.
Look, I think both haircuts were good.
Yeah,
I got no problems with
the cuts.
Kristen Cole's hair.
Got any problems with Rhaenyra Targaryen's plan to infiltrate King's Landing this week by way of putting on a Nunya business costume?
Yeah, what is this? Sister Act 3?
I think so. What was the plot of Sister Act 3 again when we were doing that on 30 Years Later?
I think it was going to be, she going to go to a jail?
Yeah. I think that there was like a prison. It was like a prison break, right?
Yeah, I
I
think
think
so.
we did a prison break.
Yeah, that was good. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but it was an inspired plot for Sister Act 3, which I
Yeah.
guess is going to come out soon in real life.
Is that
But
true?
I think so. I think that it was in development. And so
I think we
but-
said that a
but
year
isn't
ago, and
this
nothing's changed.
the second episode in a row that we had like some kind of like sitcom caper of going, oh, I'm going to put on a disguise and
Yeah.
sneak in after last week's episode of I'm going to pose as my identical twin
Yeah.
and go in there. I mean, what's next coming to Westeros?
Yeah, I think we will follow Rhaenyra, I think is her name.
Is somebody going to give birth in an elevator
Well,
next week?
I was thinking that she's taking like the Rhaenyra's kids on the road, and maybe like to hide them. Does she have to put them in a trench coat and stack them up, the three of them?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're missing like three kids in a trench coat.
Cole is going to end up going on a date with both Allison and Rhaenyra and then have to go back and forth between the two dates because he might get caught.
Yeah. A little bit of a Doubtfire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Doubtfire,
Mrs. Doubtfire, not a bad name for a dragon.
Dragon, Doubtfire. Yeah.
I think it could be good. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Yeah. It was a flyby fruiting.
I think could you do a real flyby fruiting?
Rhaenyra is trying to. This is good from Patty. How do you solve a problem like Rhaenyra? She's trying to just like go into the Abbey. She's just trying to go in and solve a war before it even happens. Rob, is it too little, too late?
Apparently, it does not seem like that it was going to ultimately move the needle. It's too late. Everybody else is ready for war footing.
Yeah, they're
can't stand down.
Hungry for violence.
Actually, I mean, this whole show is like, I guess it makes sense that all this farce is happening because this whole entire show is because of a misunderstanding.
Yes. I do think that there is like a little bit of a comedy of errors quality to it, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess so. This episode really touched on that. We go back to season 1 and King Viserys and everything that went on. And it just goes to show. So you had Viserys, who was an older guy. He was getting up there, and at times he was confused and didn't really know what was going on. You couldn't really understand what he was saying. He wasn't making a lot of sense, but they just let him be the king. They said, look, he's got, what are you going to, you can't do anything. You can't do anything. He's the king. That he decided he's staying the king unless he wants to step down. That's it. You can't do anything. And then, luckily, nothing bad ended up happening.
What happens if Viserys doesn't step down, or what happens if Viserys does?
Nothing. They just let him. They just let it keep going. They just let it happen, and nobody else can do anything unless him or his family says that he should stop. And the thing that I just like makes me say like, okay, well, thank God this is just a TV show.
It's just a TV show. Yeah. Again,
oh my God.
fictional palace
if this was real?
Fictional palace intrigue is
I
good.
would be in a panic.
I
would be like freaking out.
No, if that had like actually happened in real life, then like over the past weekend I would have had a real life panic attack. I would have had a really, really rough mental health weekend that has led into a really rough mental health Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, looking like Thursday is going to be tough as well. So it's good that it's just House of the Dragon.
I would be like, is somebody going to do something? And then people would be like,
I don't know.
Settle down.
It's fine.
Yeah.
What did you think of the stuff at Harren Hall with my new guy Simon Strong?
Yeah, I liked him.
Simon Strong, he's like, yeah, take Harren Hall for sure. By the way, here's some peas. And Daemon Targaryen says, I don't want your stupid peas.
Yeah.
You'll poison me with your peas. It's a silly way to kill a dragon rider.
This is good.
Yeah.
That is very good. Yeah, I like
It's
that.
very good, Your Grace.
Yes. I thought that here, take my Harrenhal, please.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want it. It's
Would you eat a stranger's peas if it was offered to you after you'd like taken their house? I think it would be a lot of work to just very quickly poison those things.
Yeah, quick. Poison the peas.
Like, I don't think you could just do that. Like, okay, he's here.
Poison,
quick,
just
poison the peas.
In the kitchen, ready to go.
No, I don't think so.
Maybe
That's
the rat
dangerous.
catchers have it. Yeah,
That's
maybe
a
you could
hazard.
switch plates. Like, okay, I'll have what she's having.
Millie Alcock was on House of the Dragon this week, folks.
Famous forever.
Famous forever. Back on House of the Dragon, having previously said, well, we're not doing flashbacks, so that's it for Millie Alcock. We'll never see Millie Alcock
What about dream
again.
sequences?
That's a thing, right?
Doodaloo.
Yeah, Gwayne's world. Yeah, so like in Gwayne's world, we're allowed to see dream sequences. Millie Alcock. Was that worth it to bring Millie Alcock back to just say, you're always making messes. I have to clean them up.
It was fine. Give her, bring her back.
I was
more.
I was excited. I thought it was great. Yeah, I think, you know what? They've paved the way. Daemon Targaryen still thinks of Rhaenyra as that kid. And so, like, anytime he's in a scene with Rhaenyra Targaryen, instead of acting opposite Emma Darcy, and you're like in his point of view, it should be Millie Alcock. You can have Millie Alcock back on the show.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I would do it. It's like in the second season of Beetleborgs. Were you a Beetleborgs guy? Big bad Beetleborgs. You didn't do that? No, sorry. Was it Beetleborgs or VR Troopers? I can't remember. It was one of those two shows. I think it was Beetleborgs.
Yeah. In
the second season premiere of Beetleborgs or VR Troopers, whichever one this is, chat can correct me. I'm sure they're up to it. There was like one of the three kids, like the actor dropped out, and so a magic spell got cast on the character, so that they were now played by a different actor, and the only person who like saw that character as anyone but like her original actor were the two other Beetleborgs or VR Troopers. It could be like that, where like in Daemon's mind, he looks at Rhaenyra every time and it's Millie Alcock, but for the rest of us, it's Emma Darcy.
Yeah. I have no idea what you were.
It's like a Power Rangers clone.
But I respect it.
It's like
so much.
It's in the Haim Saban extended cinematic universe. What else from House of the Dragon this week, Rob?
Chelsea has a great point in the chat.
Okay. The episode was all about how the initial causes of conflict don't really matter. Once you're fighting, you'll find any reason to continue. Sin begets sin.
Yeah, and I think that really, once you have a problem, you just keep going back and forth. I think as a married person, like I definitely understand this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sin begets sin in the
You don't even remember why you're in a fight or who did what.
Yeah.
It's just, just like it's part of the background noise.
Yeah. That just also sounds like a PTSD response from too many fights, though.
Mm-hmm.
That they all start to blend together because it's just like constantly
they all blend
happening.
together. Like, what?
Yeah. So I don't know.
I was impressed that the Brackens and the Blackwoods have so many people.
There's a shit ton of people.
They just had.
Did they just drain the entire neighborhood out there?
You're telling me they fight all the time, constantly, and there's not like 3 Brackens and 2 Blackwoods left?
Yeah, I think.
And they're constantly going to war. They have this many viable soldiers ready to go at a moment's notice.
Well, and also it seems like on top of that, like all of them died. It looks like all of them died. They report that like the top dude, the top Bracken, and the top Blackwood were dead. But like all of them were toasted. And so it's like one of those like dodgeball games where it's like down to like one person on each team. It's never going to end. So maybe that's it. Like, did one person escape from either side? I had watched the Blackwood Bracken feud show, I think. Yeah. I thought the beginning of the episode was riveting. I was like, who are you guys? You young actors, you're all
You would
pretty
think
good.
they would have more to fight about than whose side that the other one ended up siding with. I mean, if they're
that just tipped them off, I guess. I guess it like put them over the edge.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
Yeah.
Okay, is that it? Does that put us over the edge?
Yeah, I feel like overall, I felt like that this episode of House of the Dragon, I felt like it was a little bit of a peace mover episode in terms of the 8 episodes. I don't know if we necessarily had anything
that was moody. It was a vibey
it was a little moody.
episode.
It feels like that next episode, from what I gather, is going to be a little bit more of a big, game-changing episode. And this one, I feel like, was a little bit more of like a, all right, setup episode.
The hype, the as your master of whisperers, as your master of House of the Dragon whisperers, the word on the street is next week's episode.
I'm hearing that next episode is going to have a lot of dragons. People are going to be very excited about that episode.
Battles, fights.
Yes.
So I think we may get a big
battle.
Big old battle.
What's this battle? Episode. The Battle of Riggs?
Big old. No, it's the Battle of Murtaugh.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to feel a little too old for this shit. So I think let's move it on to our next segment, which is
a House of Mermaids. It's a House of Dragons. Actually, it's both. It is a combo of 2 different shows. On this pod, we talk Thrones, and we also talk Probst with Rob and Josh, your hosts.
Okay, it is time for the mermaid portion of the House of the Mermaid Dragon. I did actually finally watch the episode of Survivor this week. Over the last 2 weeks, in the first episode of House of the Mermaid Dragon, I said I would watch an episode of Survivor.
Yeah.
And then in last week's episode of House of the Mermaid Dragon, I said, no, seriously, I'll watch an episode of Survivor.
Yes.
This week, I seriously did.
And people were like, why are we always preparing? Just go.
Yeah. I was over prepared. The last 2 episodes were chess pieces, and now I'm ready for battle.
Yeah, a little bit of peace mover episode.
I should have cut my hair before the pod.
How short can you go?
Not much shorter. I could probably just like take it all off. I don't know.
Are you gonna pull your hair out?
No. It was more like a gesture. Just a signaling. Do you know what I loved about Survivor 46 right away?
What?
I love that Jeff Probst assembles all these people on the beach in Fiji. And he's like, all right, great for all of you to be here. I think all of you feel like you can win. Got news for you. At least one of you has no chance. At least one of you could not possibly win. And everyone's like, yeah, true. Yeah. And he's like, okay, so you're all nodding, but like one of you at least is out there. And they're like, and then the episode itself ends up being a story of that guy who like can't do it for sure. And it was great. I thought that was very funny.
Yeah. So I don't know if you've had the chance to talk to Mike Bloom about any of this. So Mike was out on the beach in Fiji. And
I know none of the behind the scenes stuff. Yeah.
Had a first person account. And he said that that the whole like Jeff setup for the season was like incredibly bizarre and wild. Where Jeff was asking people like these wild, like hypothetical questions, which I'm trying to remember more of them. But the one I really remember was that, according to Mike Bloom, he said that Jeff Probst asked the Survivor contestants, all right, if you punched yourself in the face and it hurts, are you weak or are you strong?
Wow.
Like he had like a bunch of like mind-bending like riddles of the Sphinx.
Whoa.
For the contestant. And none of that made the show.
Were these like questions for the greater group? Or were these like individualized? Like did he ask like specific people that question? Yeah, I think like everyone on the other sides of the cameras like pull him, get him out of there, get Jeff down, bring Jeff down. There's no way that if you punched yourself in the face, are you strong or are you weak? Well, you've had time to think about that answer. Did you have an answer to that question?
I think that you were very strong if you punch yourself in the face and it hurts. Because I think that if you were weak, you wouldn't actually do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Doing it live on the pod, and I feel nothing. So
yeah. I think to
actually
do it, I think you have to be. So I wish I could find more of the questions that were happening on the beach.
That's great. So yeah, I think this is maybe a byproduct of just a theory. Sights mostly unseen. Just a theory that with the new era being numerical seasons or numerical seasons, if you prefer, that the lack of themes probably makes like the starts of these things really hard to figure out.
Yeah.
Right. Like, it'd be a different thing if this was like Survivor, like winners versus losers, and you have to figure out which tribe you're on, and like they don't tell you. Like
Survivor, Brackens versus Blackwoods. Like, all right. There's only two types of people in this world. There's Brackens and there's Blackwoods.
Yeah.
Okay. Jimmy, what's it like going through life as a Blackwood?
Well, as a Blackwood, Jeff, I just really hate the shit out of these Brackens.
I hate them.
I hate them.
I'm really defined by my hatred for the Brackens.
Yeah. All right. And Ted,
yes, we all share the Riverlands, but those guys are really hating.
They just suck. Guys. They're so bad. And then the Brackens, they're
here we go again. Yeah. Typical Blackwood.
So like I think a theme makes that opening Matt chat pop.
Yeah.
But then like if you're just out there and he's like, "Welcome to Survivor 46." So hey, quick question: you ever punch yourself in the face before? And how did that make you feel? I feel like I would be like, oh man, I think we're on one. I suddenly don't feel safe out here. But I liked it. I liked the idea of like nobody knows that they're gonna be the loser. So I've heard a bunch of these names. We went over the cast. I knew what a Q was generally, what a Venus was. But there were certain people who like I knew by name but didn't know at all by personality. If several means 7.
Yeah.
Does Teveral mean Tevin? Because I love him. He gets the opening narration.
Yeah.
He gets to comment on so much of the episode. I love this man. I am Team Tevin all the way. I thought that the opening Tevin monologue was very helpful for me. Like, okay, so just in case you haven't watched Survivor in a couple of years, this is what Survivor is. He just goes on. It's like it's a strategy game, and everyone's out here to do but he's doing like in this very artful Shakespearean way,
right?
And it's very gently guided back in.
I never got to talk about this take that I had, but I feel like that Tevin to me really was giving me like Coleman Domingo. He has like a little bit of like Strand to him.
Yeah. Madison. Yeah.
In the game of Survivor.
Yeah. I loved Victor Strand, by the way. He deserved better. Any Fear the Walking Dead fans out there make it this far into the pod?
Nope.
He's great. So I really like him. I was surprised that Q seemed like a stable person for the most part. Like he didn't pop as like this huge character for me. And isn't that like his whole thing is like he's just like a wild child. This episode, he's sort of just like, yeah, Jelensky doesn't know how to do anything. We should get rid of Jelensky. That was like the craziest thing that Q did, but otherwise I didn't think it was particularly crazy. And no one prepared me for the fact that Tiff would be the best. I liked Tiff a lot. I thought that the way they did a Beware advantage was actually pretty good. Like, go dig here. A lot of digging for this season.
Woman.
So you got to dig here for a thing, then you got to dig here again for another thing, and then Charlie and Ben, like you got to dig under this table to find a thing. You got to like
too much digging.
A lot of digging, I think. If it was like Survivor Dig Deep, and that was like the name of the season, then maybe it's different. But like otherwise, it was a lot of digging in that first episode.
You didn't dig it?
No. Yeah, dig the bell. Yeah, it does it. You don't have the right equipment to dig it.
Yeah.
No, I enjoyed it. I did. I think.
Was it 2 hours? 2 hours runtime?
If on my Paramount Plus, it was an hour 25.
Yeah,
but
so
that
that's
takes
the
out
thing
the commercial.
that you really missed. Okay, so I know you have not watched the Survivor season since
41.
Survivor 41.
Yeah,
we've supersized the episodes.
Yeah. I think maybe the supersizing the episode should go the way of the supersize me creator and like not be here anymore. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 90 minutes and like check the tapes, go back, dig deep into the archives. And I'm sure I'm like, man, Survivor needs 90 minutes. There's too much things going on. You got to know everything. And like that guy, I don't know that he actually knew what he was talking about. That version of me. 90 minutes is a lot. There's a lot of Survivor. And a lot of it is just like, I'm nervous. Or like, I'm not nervous. But he's nervous. And it's just like a lot of this same stuff over and over again. That being said, I could have done with about 45 to 90 more minutes of that heavy ass gecko.
Yes, you love the gecko.
Loved the gecko. Opening challenge gecko, big fan. Is geckos going to be like a thing?
House of the Gecko?
Are geckos across the season?
Not really.
There's geckos at the tribal council art. I think it's Kenzie's like, not another gecko. Man, if was this like a Geico
but
partnership?
It's sort of like apropos of nothing. It's just like we just have like some decorative geckos. That's 46. We decided that was our decal, and we're just gonna put it on stuff.
Yeah, Survivor Gecko Island. Go in. Don't be afraid. I think
House of the Gecko.
I think Survivor House of the Gecko. Let's not be so afraid. Let's get weird. Let's get weird with it. Survivor 46, boring. Survivor House of the Gecko. I'm like, yeah, you guys watching Gecko this year? Like, what are you talking about? Like Survivor
Gecko
baby.
Island. Yeah.
Gecko Island. When the going gets hard, the gecko gets going. I think is good. I loved the gecko. Gecko is huge. I'm surprised the gecko didn't kill anybody. Because like the gecko is really huge and they're lugging it over the thing, and like several people, or I guess just 3, fall with like the gecko falling on them, and they all managed to live.
Yeah, I feel like we could have done something with the gecko eggs.
Yeah.
What's all the eggs, Josh, on the house? If I could go back to House of the Dragon.
Yeah. Director says those are Danny's dragon's eggs.
Oh, really? Okay. So I had thought that. And then I saw some YouTube videos that maybe said maybe otherwise. But is that sort of like the origin story of the eggs that Daenerys is going to get in Game of Thrones?
It's hard to have more.
I didn't know they keep for so long.
It's hard to have more Easter eggs on House of the Dragon. Yeah, I think someone probably.
And it's nice when the Easter eggs are literally eggs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that probably they just had to sit on them for however many hundreds of years.
Is that what happened? You just have to sit on it?
As a guess, I don't know. I'm not a farmer.
Because eggs will keep.
I don't farm
for a very long time.
I don't farm eggs. I'm not really sure. So this is the Zelensky that everyone loses their mind over.
Oh, you are unimpressed?
It's fine.
Yeah.
Everyone like, whoa, Zelensky, most iconic first boot ever. It's like, y'all forgetting about Chicken Damn Morris?
Yeah, speaking of eggs.
Are we forgetting Chicken Damn Morris? Are we forgetting Zane Knight?
Well, can I be Zane's a different story.
Safe place.
Okay. I mean that Chicken, Chicken had the one iconic moment.
Yeah.
Damn. But I feel like otherwise, I feel like that the actual 42 minutes of Chicken leading up to that.
Do we count Reem Daily? We can't compete with Reem. Zelensky doesn't come close. There's not even a slight a slight encroachment upon Reem Daily here. It's fine. I thought Zelensky was fine. I think he does a couple of the several thing is for sure a planned bit, right? Like that's not like he didn't.
I don't think so.
He didn't actually think that. There's no way.
Zelensky is a legend.
Jelinsky comes out there calling himself Jelinsky and said, what is his name? David?
Dayvydyd.
DD. It's fine. I think it was fine. He threw a thing. He threw the hourglass. He said several instead of 7, or thought 7 means several. I felt bad for him. It was like, I don't know that he necessarily should have gone for all of the things that he did. You know, he was a large lad, big lad. Like, he could carry geckos and stuff. He has a couple of big blunders in that first episode, but like, I don't know. Everyone kept being like, Jelinsky. And I felt like, okay, that's Jelinsky. That's fine. Yeah. And Jelinsky thinks he's going to be on the show again?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you like the journey that they went on?
Loved the journey. The journey. Thought the journey idea was great. I thought the journey idea was really good. Of like, here's a tiger, or what is it? Here's a torch. There's a vote. There's a skull.
Yeah.
I don't know where it got a tiger from. And I liked that it was sort of it was like a two truths and a lie kind of situation there. Is this a recurring bit, the journey?
The journey, it happens typically that they do a journey about like 3 times in the pre-merge, but that they will never do this game again.
That sucks. That's the thing, is they go through these ideas that are pretty good, and then they just like go too quickly through them. Like, I thought that was good. I think you could probably get more mileage out of like similar games. Like, you could do it again. And it's like this thing where like there's a mandatory truth teller, and then the other 2 people are one is incentivized to tell the truth and one is incentivized to lie. And like, that's like literally just like the structure of that mini game. I think the mini game was good. More mini games like that.
They have a lot of mini games, but they do not repeat.
Are they more like puzzly, or is it more?
Sometimes can be.
Okay. All right. Then my other big take was like, I don't think Banu's that bad. I liked Banu.
Okay.
I thought Banu was nice. Banu seemed nice. Banu's like, oh man, I've done so much to be here. I'm so thrilled to be here, he says. Yeah. And then he's crying because he has to go to tribal. He doesn't want to vote out his friends. And that seems fine. But then I did see the commercial for the next episode where I think he says one of the things that I often say as well, which is, yes! He says that really loudly, and that seemed intense. So maybe I just don't really know what the Banu thing is going to be.
I have some bad news for you. The next episode is also 2 hours.
I don't know why. Is it actually?
Yeah.
And let me also say that I am watching this single speed, and I'm not skipping the challenges. I'm doing it. I'm going to watch the full thing. Should I be reading Exit Press? Was there anything fun in Jelinsky's Exit Press?
I don't know if you need to.
But will I be able to get like sort of like the venom? Like because like they don't like each other, right? Like, these people don't really like each other that much. Will I understand that if I don't read the exits?
Look up a Jelinsky exit interview, or look up
what did he say to you? Was he like, hey Rob, oh yeah, Jelinsky really did it again? Like, what was that like when you talked to him?
The thing that I remember that he said was that like, he's like, the thing that I really want to impart on you is that they talked about me the whole season. Everybody was talking about me constantly, from what I understand, from what I've been told.
Love that. From what I've been told. Yeah, from what I understand. And I know he does get.
He
said
they wanted to name the merge tribe Jelinsky.
That would actually have been pretty funny if they did that. Was it not allowed?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jelinsky is a tribe name, not bad. But yeah, I guess I should probably check out some Exit Press, see what's going on. Folks are saying that Jelinsky would not have been a good master of whispers. I think that's probably true. He was sort of like the Survivor equivalent of Chunk.
Anyway, talk that through for me.
Well,
in what way?
He's been taken by the Fratellis.
Yes.
He's been placed under the hot lamp. And they've shaken out every single bad deed that he's ever done. Except the hot lamp is the hot sun of Fiji. And no one, like, I guess for the Fratellis are the production that they put him there. and then he just like couldn't stop just telling the truth. He just couldn't stop.
Is Banu sloth? Because I feel I could hear him saying like, "Hey, you guys."
I haven't heard that yet. I don't know. I would love to like goonify the. I think it seems like based on this episode that Maria is Mama Fratelli.
I think she has to by default
because she's a mother of boys, and the Fratellis are nothing if not boys. So yeah, I think that I feel like Charlie kind of gives Mikey energy.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. Who's Mouth?
Who is Mouth? Okay, Q. Maybe.
See it.
Sounds like based on like I haven't seen it yet. Maybe Q, maybe Venus could be Mouth potentially as well, based on what I hear. The trailer for the next one for episode 2 does make episode 2 look like they're gonna pop off. So that's great. Banu is sloth. I don't know. I'll let you know because the next bit for week 4 of House of the Mermaid Dragon, I will watch the Banu arc, which I'm to understand is 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so I'll watch the next 3 episodes.
So you've really got the lion's share of the work to do next week.
Yeah. You already did it though. You've already did it.
But you have to watch what with commercials is 5 hours of Survivor for next week. What is this, TEOS?
I might go 1.5.
Yeah.
Are there any skippable moments? Challenges?
Yes.
Or are they good? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But look, this is like everything you that is the toughest sledding of the run of
I've been told. I'm excited for it though. I'm excited. I like changed my mind. Banu changed my mind challenge. Let's see. Because right now I think he's a sweetheart. I think he's great. I think he's nice. Nice guy.
Josh Wigler
made a mistake.
Oh, well, wouldn't be the first time I made a mistake when it comes to the beaches of Fiji. So I think that those are my takes. I liked everybody.
Yeah.
I'm on Kenzie Winter watch. The Tevin narration. Tevin narrates the beginning of the season. She's the first person you see. Kenzie.
Yeah.
First person whose face you see. So that's they still got it right. Subtle storytelling. It's good. I enjoyed it. It was fun. I actually really liked watching an episode of Survivor for the first time in a long time. So it was good. So I'm looking forward to totally reversing my opinion next week when we come back with 5 hours of the Banu show. That's it for me. Rob, anything else that you've got for House of the Mermaid Dragon week 3? Nothing.
No,
That's
I think that was it. I mean, I think that I enjoyed the show this week. Looking forward to where we go after this.
Sounds like a couple of different battles that we'll talk about next week. The Battle of Westeros and the Battle of Banu. So we'll see how all of that goes. Make sure you're subscribed. robhasawebsite.com/scripted will get you all the information for the RHAP We Know Scripted TV podcast feed. That's robhasawebsite.com/scripted. Rob, what else is going on in your neck of the woods?
Yeah, so we got a lot of fun stuff going on. Last night we did, for the patrons only, a Survivor 50 draft for the first time here on RHAP. Drafted people 3 points if they got on Survivor 50, 2 points if they're on Australian Survivor, and 1 point if they are on The Traitors, etc. Any other reality show. So I had a very fun draft there. I believe we have a special presentation coming up later on today. Stephen Fishback and I are going to be checking in with Survivor 45's Drew Basile after a very exciting run on Jeopardy.
Or as they pronounce it in Westeros, Jeopardy.
Jeopardy, yeah. And we will have a big Summer of Survivor rolling on tonight, as we will have a new era think tank with myself, Shannon Gus, and James Jones.
Oh, that's fun. That's cool.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. I appeared on TV for real this week in lieu of Mike Bloom, who was unavailable for this one. It was me, Sasha, talking about this week's House of the Dragon as well with Omer from Survivor 42, who I've never seen on television before. So that was a very fun conversation. We relitigate a lot of the stuff that we already talked about on this pod, but it goes differently. So I would recommend checking that out. That podcast should be in your feed. If not already, then very, very soon. Really good time over there. And then I am to understand that the mole is happening and I'm late.
Yeah, you're late to the party, but there's room for you at the table. At the mole table.
Right,
Josh will be back with us for week 2 of the mole.
Coming back.
Which we're planning on for Monday to talk about week 2 of the mole.
Hopefully strong too. But we'll see. We'll see how it ends up being on the
An
mole.
interesting week for the mole.
We're going to Mole Town. That's all I know. We're going to Mole Town. We'll see what's going on over there.
Yes.
That's it.
And in true Mole Town fashion, some people get to know each other in the biblical sense.
Whoa. We're doing it on the mole?
Maybe.
Are we smashing on the mole? Is that
at the very least maybe checking for moles?
Interesting. Intrigued. All right, looking forward to that. It's a sexy week here on RHAP. We'll be back with more House of the Mermaid Dragon next week. Until then, everybody, take care and